Oh, yeah, I
Okay,
see.
I think it's cool. All right, what's up?
Hi, what's up?
Um, it's been a long year. I know that the photo department at Pratt is really aggressive and crazy, but I don't know anything about the department you're in. You're like in,
Yeah,
are
digital.
you in digital arts or like what specifically are you in?
Well, I am in officially the Department of Digital Arts, or I was in.
You
Up into
are?
three sections. Yeah, digital arts,
Mm-hmm.
and that's divided up into three sections. You got 2D, 3D, and interactive, and I'm in the interactive section, which has like five students in it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, our last year was pretty much spent um, doing one project, like one senior capstone
Right.
project. Yeah, and that's what we were doing.
Yeah, I remember we took one class together with
With class.
what's his name? Do you remember his name, the film
Yeah, of
teacher?
course I remember his name. He was one of my favorite professors I ever had.
Yeah, you guys got along real well.
Yeah, he was cool.
But I guess you just switched from. We both came in as film majors, and then we like both switched. I went to photography and creative writing, and I
Yeah,
guess when did you decide to do interactive media instead? Because I
right.
remember your early stuff was kind of glitchy and was like somewhat reminiscent of what you're doing now. So what
Yeah,
made you like that switch?
I guess I don't really do as much glitchy stuff anymore, but the color palette really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
My color palette really has stayed with like dark black and then solid blocks of color.
Hmm.
I like that. I like solid color and black ground, kind of like a void surrounding just a flame, like just an unquenchable piece of color. I like that. It pops.
Yeah. When I was playing your Oculus Rift game, which is and is it called Echo Dot or Echo Point?
EchoDot.
Echo Dot. Okay, so when I was playing Echo Dot, I kind of got this feeling um, like the game reminded me, like this color palette that you're talking about that you use. It reminded me of like daydreaming or like you're messing around on like the weird part of the internet, and it's
Yeah.
somewhat like that feeling of like disconnection. And I find that sort of feeling of like weird disconnect between like the things that are going on around you, and I find that you really are able to pinpoint that feeling well, unless maybe that's just my experience, but was that
Well, I
intentional?
mean, yeah. Well, I mean, well, with EchoDot, the two main kind of points I was trying to express was disconnection and loneliness.
Oh, I
Um,
got yeah.
yeah, because already, like when you're in VR, like you're already completely disconnected and isolated, and you're already in a completely made up world. And then especially with that actual Echo Dot application, when you're typing, there's so many layers of disconnection between what you would want to say and what you actually end up communicating to your friends. And they don't give a shit though. They're kind of do like all your friends don't really care. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I actually like to think that everyone else that you're talking to is doing what you're doing. Everyone else is syncing. Everyone else is trying to manage everything. But I
Hmm.
don't know. You don't know that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, the game was really depressing and beautiful, and I don't know how you managed to do that. I have a question. When is there like there's two parts of the Echo Dot game, or I might be like getting something wrong, but there's like the part where you're going through this like celestial like hallway sort of thing, and then there's one where you're like talking to like a fictitious group of like friends.
Yeah.
Um, so when I went to the fictitious group of friends, right, and there's like all these people who are like chatting with you, and you can type stuff in, and like the things that you say and things that they say are crazy,
Right.
um, but also just like really banal at the same time. Um, I got this. I looked down and I saw, and I don't know how comfortable you are talking about this, but like I saw this grave that this said like Kayla on it, and I want to know what that was all about.
You saw a grave that said Kayla?
there was like this like block, like if you look below your feet, it says like Kayla, and I was just like, is that a grave or something? And are you like falling through the ground?
It says Kayla.
Yeah, maybe that's a glitch or something. I was just like, what is going on here?
I don't think I ever typed the word Kayla. Is this during the chat part?
Yeah, the chat part.
When you look
And
down.
and nobody.
That's
What?
a music player. That's a music player. You can. That's how you control the music in EchoDot. You can hit the arrows on the left or the right to switch the song ahead or back. It's like something simple. And one of the songs, one of Kayla, it's a song from Wolf Shirt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I was getting so into the game, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my God.
That's cool.
I was thinking that like you were like it's symbolic of like suicide or something like that, and I was just like, oh, you're falling now.
if you look in the water, I made all these like subliminal kind of subconscious thoughts that if the water isn't just abstract color, it's actually images being refracted by like this digital milkiness. And if you like look at the water, you can actually see the images kind of manipulating and distorting. That's what I thought you were talking about at first, because I didn't think anyone noticed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that Death of Kayla, that was a song name.
All right. Crazy. Okay. Just like I think I just get really into things, but
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you were into it.
Yeah, so why did you decide to make these two hallways? And I want to talk more about like at the end of each part of the game there were these two beds that come up. So like what were you saying with that, or what was the idea behind that?
Well, the whole kind of tempo or the whole arc of the piece is you either deal with your loneliness by chatting with your friends in Echo Point, or you go outside. And the hallway you're talking about, the actual architecture of the hallway is fire escapes and stoplights and walk signals.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of a jungle of a city sidewalk. And then at the end, you kind of see your friends IRL, which are those like kind of cutouts that you approach and they kind of break apart. And that's kind of you seeing your friends IRL, and they're digitized too, so it's not satisfying and you sink. And I kind of suggest suicide, saying like, upon the failure of either chatting or seeing your friends in real life, you do the third option, which ends up just being going to sleep. You just sleep it off. You have a bad night, you go to sleep, and you wake up the next morning, and you'll still be here. It's kind of forgiveness, because both sections are really unforgiving and depressing and dark and apocalyptic. But then at the end, you fucking go to sleep, and you'll be okay. I think everyone has been through what I'm trying to express, and we're all still here.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, are you still there? I think you froze. Hello?
You froze.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think you definitely capture that. Yeah, and I'm always like thinking about this idea of I don't know what like the stuff you're making is kind of like hard to describe, but how do I even like okay, let me just first ask before like I start like trailing off. Why the Oculus Rift? Like I know like it was just like you told me earlier that it was like something that was like of interest to you, so you just like made this like video game. But what do you think the medium of the Oculus Rift does for this whole interactive thing that you're doing? Because there's like a sense of disconnect when you're on the internet and when you're talking to friends.
Right.
But when you put the Oculus Rift on, it feels like you're somewhat immersed into this universe, though not. I don't know. It's really immersive, but I'm trying to understand how the Oculus Rift is like playing into the whole idea of like disconnect between the friends and trying to find some sort of I I don't know. I don't know if like joy in like the banality of what's going on around you.
I kind of thought of. I don't think this was my first ever virtual reality project.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this particular aspect read as well as I would like. But I mean, I'm completely aware that you're in VR, and at the end of it, you take off the Rift and you see your friends in real life. And I would like for you to have kind of an increased appreciation for your actual IRL friends, especially after doing this VR fake social kind of thing. I want you to like take it off and then realize that like, all right, because we live in 2015, this kind of stuff that we're doing right now, you know, like
Yeah.
face-to-face meeting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty damn good. But you can't lose yourself. You can't lose yourself in this kind of stuff. You have to still be able to touch, you know. Like I'm trying to touch you right now. I can't, you know,
Right.
like it's important.
And
like
that's so true, because I
Right.
totally felt like I could be in the Oculus Rift game forever. I got so lost in it, and I went back another time to play it to like get more out of it. And I felt like you could totally get lost with Oculus Rift. And I feel like in a game, at least in my personal experience, I can like have a game controller and then eventually like put it down on the ground. But I feel like with Oculus Rift, it's like, oh, okay, you're actually in this other world, and that's really frightening. I don't know, it creeps me out. So that's definitely really powerful. So how did you? I remember I was talking to you earlier, and I just like asked you just like a really like silly question, like how did you even make this game? So like if you want to learn how to like make an Oculus Rift game, how do you go about doing that? Or I don't know, it's probably really like confusing computer language, but how did you do it?
I completely, whatever you just said, you were frozen the whole time. I did not hear one word of what your question is just now. So
Okay.
All I heard was, so how did you do it?
Okay, that's basically it though. How did you do it? Like how did you do it?
Well, I used a game engine called Unity, where I imported all my really simple geometry. I did a lot of Photoshop, a lot of After Effects to kind of create the textures and all the people. And then I wrote fucking... Hello?
Hello. Okay, yeah, we keep on getting cut off.
And then I brought them into Unity and wrote pretty much the bread and butter of interaction is code. And I had to write a lot of code to kind of build the rules of the system. Every little iota of interaction of that I had to program. You know, I had to. It's tough. I taught myself a lot, and I learned so much while doing it, both conceptually and technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how did I do it? I don't know, honestly. I spent a year on it, and I went through so many revisions. I had to start over, you know, like, yeah, it took me a while.
Damn. Wow. Okay. Well, good job.
Thanks.
Do you think you're gonna make more of these games, or do you think it's just like?
I think I would like to do.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Jesus. Okay. Sorry. We need to like. Say all you just said because I didn't get any of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video game kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in performance with the Rift. Just like the sight of someone with this on, like they're completely cut off and they're completely vulnerable.
Mm.
You ever seen the movie Clockwork Orange? Or you know that scene with the you know this, right?
Yeah, I know
like
that.
The brainwash.
Yeah.
I would like to do something with the like forcefully subjecting the user to images in VR. I would like to make something that makes people worried.
Like while I have a headset on, like something going on in the real world, and something going on in the video game world
Yeah.
at the same time. Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah, imagine
I would like to
yeah.
break down the barriers of the fakeness of this and kind of have it be real. You know, I want to add some kind of real, because that's what bothered me with Echo Point, was that like, it was all so fake. It was all like a self-contained video game that you would take off and then nothing changed. But I would really like to develop something that was real, that had something real happening. You know.
Shit,
But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about it.
No, that's really brilliant. And it's really a shame that I think in art schools in general, well, maybe it's just like Pratt. I wish there's more interdisciplinary stuff going on, because I feel like you could talk to the performance studies kids.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, I want to.
Like, I think some of the decisions I made was taking sculpture.
Hello. Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that'd be really great. But I can get you in touch with, like, I know some people who are in performance studies, and the things they tell me always like gets thrown right over my head. Like, they're so brilliant, and like there's a whole other like art forms I just really want to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wait, let me see. I think I asked you all the questions that I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is the end of it. So like, thanks for talking to me. This whole project was brilliant, and I congratulate you.
Yes. Hello.
All right. Maybe if we like talk again next time, this video hangout software will work better.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.